2025 season is still several months away, but I think the 2025 college football season has real chaos, sort of wild card potential. You can decide whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for a few reasons, I'm already starting to get this vibe. So what is it? It's March 18th. I just want to put this out there so that we're on the record as having said it long before it happens. Think about all of the variables in the landscape this year. So first off, it's the last year of NIL being what it is right now, which is pay for play. The revenue sharing era is coming. Well, that's just a lot of words to you. But what that means to you is a lot of people are emptying the dump truck of their NIL money right now because they don't really think they're going to have to spend like that anymore. They're probably right. I know of many instances where programs looked and they front-loaded a guy's deal because it's the last time they're really going to have to pay him like that. After, well, including this year, revenue sharing kicks in. Well, what that means is there's a lot of volatility in rosters right now. There was a weird movement cycle in rosters right now, not to mention you've still got the usual situation where the usual haves have had their second layer cut out from under them because teams vastly overspent, in many cases, let's just call it what it is, on their twos and their threes. Again, I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is a thing. And that probably means you've got a little bit more variability, variance, whatever you want to call it, in the college football cake this year, as opposed to the usual structure and set number of teams that can win the national title, which leads me to my next point. I'm looking at a piece of paper in front of me right now. I have no idea who the clear number one in college football is to start this year. And normally we have that. And for that matter, normally we have a solid top five. We don't. We really don't have it this year. Think about Oregon and Ohio State and Texas and Georgia. They all replace quarterbacks, guys. They're all below 50% returning production. Those are the top four teams in the odds to win the title, which means in the land of the blind, you know, the one-eyed man can be king. You look at a guy with one eye, and normally you don't think much of him. If he lives in the land of the blind, he could rule the whole place. Well, in college football this fall, you look at a Penn State. Be very careful with how you talk about Penn State. Be very careful with how you talk about a team like Clemson or a team like Ole Miss, because your default is, oh, they're not going to win a title. Oh, that kind of team can't win a title. No, that kind of team in 2019 wouldn't beat that LSU. That kind of team in 2021 wouldn't beat that Georgia. You don't know if we're going to have that caliber team this year. So number three, think about all that, and then think about the vast disparity in strength of schedule out there. Think about how imbalanced these schedules are. Not just conference to conference. Hey, quick timeout. Check and see if you're subscribed to the channel. If you're not, make sure you do. It's free. It doesn't obligate you or sign you up for anything. It just helps us keep the channel free. All right, back to the show. Within a conference, we've talked about this a lot over the past month. I've pointed this out. I think we'll probably make this point a dozen more times on the show as we sort of get towards media days and then fall camp opening up. Schedules are garbage this year. I don't mean there's no big games. There's a ton of big games. I just mean some teams are playing way more big games than others. In our own internal metrics, we've got Oklahoma strength of schedule as being at a 116. Tennessee, same conference, down at a 79. We got Oklahoma, I think we have them playing either 8 or 9 Tier 1/Tier 2 opponents. We've got Tennessee playing 4. They're in the same conference. Because we've got 14, 16, 18 team conferences now, that can happen. Because our scheduling model's broken and we schedule in the future still when there's no reason we couldn't do it the year of. So we've got that going for us. And also, like I said, I just want to circle back around to this. The usual take in college football, I've been guilty of it as well. The usual take, history has taught us in college football to think in terms of a very, very finite amount of teams that are capable of winning it all. And I just don't think that's the case this year, because there may not be an elite team out there this year. There is a ton of newness amongst the usual suspects. Like I said, Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, all new at quarterback, all below 50% returning production. One of them may elevate, and all this could be a moot point. But if you don't have one emerge, or if someone doesn't do like Ohio State last year and get red hot and unbeatable in the playoffs, that means stuff that normally couldn't happen can happen. That means a Notre Dame could win a national title. That means a Penn State could win a national title. That means a Tennessee or an Ole Miss could win a national title. And even as I'm saying that, with my logic presented, I know you guys, because you're just like me, you guys are sitting there listening to that and saying, yeah, okay, but that's not going to happen. It probably won't happen. You could say Texas A&M probably won't win a national title. You can't rule it out because you got to show me someone they definitively can't get past. We don't have that. We got some teams that would be favored against them. We don't have anyone right now. Granted, it's March, but we don't have anyone that they couldn't get past because you don't even know what A&M is yet.